Welcome to Accept Your Gifts, the 22-minute podcast for inspiring your most creative life. My name is Tracy Crow. I'm an author, writing coach, and Marine Corps veteran. I'm looking forward to co-creating today's show with you. So if you're ready, are you ready? I'm ready. So if you're ready to live a more creative, more magical life, let's get started. My special guest today is Renee Neal, a visual artist whose work first came to my attention about a year ago when she began sharing her captivating abstracts on Facebook. In a sense, Renee seemed to burst forth overnight as an artist to watch, and I just had to know more, such as what was the inspiration behind all of this sudden creativity. But what I discovered about this Memphis native and mom to 4 sons is that Renee Neal has survived enough drama and trauma to fill at least 2 Lifetime Channel movies. So, let's listen in as Renee, also a former Army medic and military police officer, reveals how a remembrance of her grandmother's childhood advice and a turn toward art with the most unlikely of art tools for a grown woman uplifted her from her darkest of dark days. I was drawn to invite you to share your story with our listeners because I have seen you explode with creativity over this past year, girlfriend. And I'm talking specifically about you as a visual artist. But there's a real personal story attached to this explosion of creativity from you this past year. Will you share some of that with our listeners? Tell us a little bit about this past experience, your past experiences.
Thank you, Tracy, for letting me do this and let people know about the journey that I've been going through. Oh my God, this past year, I've grown so much. My story actually started almost 30 years ago. I joined the military. I got married right after high school. My first husband, oh my God, I was in love. And sometimes when you're young, you can't handle what's being thrown at you. And I was thrown into abuse. He abused himself. He got on drugs. He got so abusive that I saw myself either dying or committing the unthinkable. To make a long story short, as far as my first marriage, he killed his girlfriend while we were married. I mean, I was in the military. I was scared. I was MP. Oh my God. I thought I was the toughest person alive. And this happened to me. I didn't go through any counseling. Even after his abuse. The next thing I did was totally crazy also. I got married again. And before I got married again, I had one incident that happened to me, and it even made me feel smaller than I was, because I was in a place where I didn't feel worthy of anything. Love, compassion, I blame myself. One of my ex-boyfriends, he was in the military, and it was doing the don't ask, don't tell thing. And actually, he was bisexual. And I decided to let that relationship go, but I didn't tell him why. And he raped me. After that, I went through a phase where I was just a wild child. I felt like I wanted to drink myself to death, sex myself to death, whatever. I didn't care about me anymore. I met my second husband. I even shared with him what I had went through, and when we first started dating, he seemed like the perfect guy. Oh my God, he was just my everything. And it was another abusive relationship. No counseling again. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. And I was just going round and around and around. And eventually I was going to go so fast that I was going to flip off. And during this, oh my God, up and down, up and down. Every area of my life was just flipping up and down. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find a balance anywhere. My second marriage, I kind of felt like I was punishing myself. It was like a self-inflicted prison for me. My oldest son, he went through a lot of mental abuse from my second husband. And right when I felt like I was getting my footing to where I was climbing back out of this rut I was in, my son, he was arrested for murder.
Oh, Renee.
And yeah. And this just floored me. I mean, I let my son go through a lot. I don't know if I felt it was okay. To me, it felt wrong. But I was receiving the majority of the abuse. But he was seeing all of this. And he didn't receive any physical abuse, but the mental abuse was so great. I mean, it was great. My second ex-husband told him one time, "You're going to be just like your dad. You're going to be just like your dad."
Let me stop you there. He said, "You're going to be just like your dad." So was his dad the one who had killed his girlfriend?
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So the reason I asked that is because when I'm teaching writing workshops, specifically the writing workshops I develop and teach for our military veterans and families, I'm always encouraging them to look at the scripts they've heard about who they are supposed to be or who others think they're going to be, and how those scripts get ingrained into those dendrites of our brain. I mean, it just becomes those ruts, and that's the script. And next thing we know, if we're not aware of that script, we're actually living our life according to that script. And it sounds as if your son actually did that.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly. I had a breakthrough when I started reading all these books. As a child, my grandmother raised me until I was 10. And I remember a time when I was so happy, where the words just kind of engulfed me. I could go to another place. And I thank her so much because it was my escape. I started reading, I started writing, I started journaling, and everything that I was reading told me to change my thoughts, to change my environment, to change the people I was around. I needed to hear and see positive. If I couldn't hear it and see it, that's how I learned to do it all. I have to hear it, I have to see it, I have to do it. And I'm about to cry.
Oh, honey, I need a tissue right now. I mean, I'm already tearing up. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Well, I was on this journey, And it was so emotional for me because my grandmother had always told me, Renee, whatever you tell yourself you are, you are. Whatever you focus on in your mind. And my grandmother, not that I know of, she never read a motivational book, but what she put in me started to come out. It started, when I say it started to come out, even on my worst days, I can hear her say, Renee, get up. You can do this. You're better than native. You're beautiful. You're this, you're that. And one day I woke up and I wanted to see the happiness. And you're going to laugh. I picked up some crayons.
I love it.
And I started just doing little drawings. And I got so excited about it. Oh my God, I went to the bookstore, Tracy. I went to the bookstore and I got, okay.
By the way, I just want to say it's such a good thing that our listeners can only hear us and not see us, because I'm going to have mascara running down my cheeks any second. Okay, go ahead. Crayons.
So, and this is what's so amazing about it. When I started with the crayons, it brought me back to when I was a child, when I was more excited about everything, when everything seemed like, oh my God, I was wondrous again. And I was excited about life. And it started with a box of crayons. That was how my art started. It started with crayons.
Stop it. Are you serious?
I am so serious. Something that simple. And it felt so good. I went to an appointment at the VA. And I was actually, I didn't consider myself an artist at all. I was just playing. I was playing with my crayons. I seen a poster. And the poster was a Black History Month. And they wanted artists to display their works. So I said, oh my God, I'm not good enough for this. And I said, well, I'm going to try it anyway. I got out of my shell. And I was willing to try more things, especially if they were positive. I didn't care if nobody liked it. It was my expression of me. And that's why I'm on the journey I'm on now. I want my artwork to make people happy, for them to look at it and smile. I don't care what's going on right there with you right now. If you just look at it, and everybody sees art different. So whatever you get out of it, I just hope it touches your heart. It makes you smile.
Well, let me stop you there, because that's quite a leap. There's a certain level of vulnerability that I think all of us feel, whether we're writers, dancers, singers, musicians, artists. There's a certain vulnerability we all feel when it comes time to share our work, whether it's with one person or whether it's with the world. And you are telling me that you have now overcome this sense of vulnerability despite your background, and you're saying, here it is, world. Get out of it what you can. That's what I'm hearing. Whoa, you need to be given lessons, woman.
It's fun. Tracy, it's funny you say that, because I want to help people. Like I said, I didn't feel comfortable at first. I felt like I was hiding. And that's in every way. I was hiding behind, I wouldn't even dress up. I wouldn't do my hair. I wouldn't do makeup. I was hiding. I don't want, how should I put it? I don't want people to feel like they need to hide. No matter what you're going through, you need to open up to somebody. I can tell my mood by the way I paint, and I paint every day.
Well, let's talk about you paint every day. Let's give how would you, now of course people are listening, so describe your art. Describe in a way that they can kind of picture as they're listening, to about your art. Describe it for them.
I would describe my art as like almost like a journey, a story, a diary. I feel like I can put whatever I want to on there, and I can express myself. And in a way, it's like you say, you want people to love your art. Not everybody loves my art, but I think some people really get it. That it's more about an expression. I want people to see the love. I want them to see kindness. I want them to look at my work and say, wow, I love that color. And it takes them to a different place. And I think that's what the art is about, because you're going to laugh. A lot of times I'll just pick up whatever's there and I'll use it. And I think that's what art is about, using what you have, starting where you're at, not focusing on, well, will this person like it? I think that's why I do more art, because I'm at that point where I'm like,
let me jump in there and say about expressing yourself, because what I've noticed about your art this past year is it's an explosion. That word just keeps coming to mind with you. There's this explosion of color, but also there's this explosion of messages that I pick up. And the messages that I pick up most from your artwork is this overriding theme of self-love and empowerment.
Wow, you said it, Tracy.
I just call it. I just call it like I see it, girlfriend. I just call it like I see it. But I mean, and seriously, and there's also, when you mention kindness, of course, our listeners, if you've read my bio, you realize that I founded this Stop for Kindness initiative on Facebook. And, we have almost 4,400 kindness ambassadors and across 29 countries. And Renee is usually almost pretty much every morning, the first one on the kindness page. I'm not putting pressure. You don't have to now live up to that. But I'm just saying that I love it because she seems like she's always right there after I make the first kindness post of the day to like whatever it is I've posted. And I'm so appreciative of that. But when you talk about kindness coming through in your art, I am, besides the messages of empowerment and self-love, I'm seeing this theme of gratitude and gentleness. It's like when you portray in your art two figures, let's say male and female, there is a level of fluidity and gentleness between them that I don't ever remember seeing in anyone else's artwork like that.
No, I don't have a significant other yet, but that's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like I'm attracting that to me. I've attracted new crowd of people to me. They're more positive. They're more uplifting. They're inspiring. They can be a friend and they're 100,000 miles away, and it's almost like we connect. And I feel like when I paint, I'm connecting with that energy. I feel a closeness when I paint people, whether it's a male or a female, or my art is considered, I think, abstract, I guess. I guess that's what you would call it. But I want the energy.
Well, let me ask you about that energy that you just mentioned. That energy is out there for all of us if we're willing to tap into it. What does it feel like to you when you are in that energy flow? And is there any other way you would design that? I mean, do you feel connected like to something almost otherworldly of inspirational energy?
Well, I guess the best way I can describe it is when I'm painting, it feels like has, there's no time. It feels like, oh my God, if it was, I forget about mostly everything. I'm in pain a lot, physical pain. I forget all about my pain. I forget about eating. Oh my God, I forget to eat sometimes. And I get it's when that energy fills you, it's like your own hands, your own creativity is it's just out there. And it's going to that source, that paper or what or canvas or whatever you're painting on. And it's like sometimes after I finish, I look at my work, I'm like, where did I get that idea from? But it's that physical energy of love and the kindness, and it's just, whoo, it's out there, it's on the paint to me. And it was a pity party. It was taking me down a dark road.
Even without any sort of endorsement from Crayola, everyone listening, go buy yourself a box of 64 crayons and get started. Renee, what would you say to that?
Yay! Tracy, you are fabulous, girl. Love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing so much of yourself. And I love you, girlfriend.
I love you, Tracy.
I hope you enjoyed today's co-creative listening experience. Please remember to leave a comment about the single greatest takeaway for you today. You know, that one thing you will remember from this day forward. Was it something funny or provocative? Was it just what you needed to hear? Please share so we can all benefit. And remember to return Tuesdays and Thursdays to accept your gifts, the 22-minute podcast for inspiring your most creative life.